Welcome to Microsoft Windows Mixed Reality. The environment that you're looking at now is called the Cliff House, and it exists inside the software called the Mixed Reality Portal. The very top left-hand corner of the screen, you can see the name of the software, and at the bottom you can see the icon. The icon looks like a snorkeling mask. It's that blue snorkeling mask. The reason I'm pointing that out to you is the Mixed Reality Portal is the software that's going to drive the virtual reality headset every time that you use it. So no matter which app you're going to use, this software is always going to be running, at least in the background. And so your very first virtual reality experience should be with this environment. Another reason why it should be with this environment is because you don't need a Steam account and you don't need the VPN to run this virtual reality experience. So it's actually the easiest one to get into as soon as you've got your kit turned on and the headset has been calibrated, like I showed you in the previous videos. Hopefully by now you've also seen the video about how to use the controllers and how to manage the headset. Knowing how to hold them is an important practice activity before you put your headset on. So hopefully you've watched that video by now and had the chance to have a bit of a practice. In this virtual reality environment, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to practice manipulating the controllers. We're going to practice teleportation, because teleportation is a skill in VR that is used quite commonly in a lot of VR apps. We're also going to practice using the buttons on the controller to control the environment that you're in. Every VR app uses the buttons a little bit differently, and so I want you to be confident using the buttons on the controller to manipulate your environment. So we're going to practice that. One of the main learning challenges that comes with the VR kit is all about designing your own environment. So as you're exploring this one, why not look around and think about what were the design decisions made about this environment? And why do you think the designer made those decisions? Now that you know what we're about to do, let's pop the headset on and explore the environment and practice some of those skills. Okay, I've got my headset on and I'm holding my controllers. The very first thing you always need to check is that you're holding the right controller in the right hand and the left controller in the left hand. You'll know that because the insides of the controller have got a trigger button. Okay, so those trigger buttons need to be on the inside when you're holding them. You also need to make sure that your pointing finger is wrapped right around the front trigger and your thumbs can find the joystick. Holding those controllers comfortably and being able to reach those buttons is your first activity when you get into virtual reality. And then, just to make sure, can you move your thumb down to the Windows button? If I hold very still, hopefully you can see there's a Windows button, and press that to bring up the start menu. All right, so that's activity number one. Everybody needs to practice that, holding the controllers and being able to press that button. I'm going to press the Windows button again to make the start menu go away. We'll look at that a bit more in just a second. Activity number two that you're going to do is practice teleportation. Now, if I had some more space, as in the physical space where I am, I could walk around. You can walk around as long as the cable still reaches the computer, but I'm actually just sitting in a chair. So I don't have enough physical space to walk around inside my digital space. So I've got to teleport. The way that you do that is by pushing the joystick forwards and pointing at the ground to the spot where you want to teleport. So if I want to get to the balcony over there, I'm just going to do some little teleports forwards. And each little teleport takes me a little bit closer to the balcony. All right, before I take my last teleport, I do want to say that everybody's emotional response to virtual reality is a little bit different. And you can understand your emotional response by coming up to this balcony. You see, even though you know this is fake, you know that it's a digital environment and there isn't really a big drop into the ocean. Because your brain is getting convinced that this is real, you'll probably have an emotional reaction when you get a little bit closer to the edge and look right down. That's your next activity. I want you to teleport right to this edge and see how you feel being this close. All right, I'm going to step back now. Now, again, because I don't have any physical space around me, I'm going to use the joystick. I'm going to flick the joystick left to turn my head. Of course I can turn my head physically, right? This is great. I can look around. But I want to turn all the way around. So flick the joystick and flick the joystick again. And now I'm going to teleport just in front of these three pillars and flick, flick. So I've got three things in front of me here. Sorry, four. I've got something called a 3D viewer. Let's wake that up. And the 3D viewer actually lets me bring in some 3D models to make my environment a little bit more interesting. This is another activity I want you to do because I want you to practice manipulating 3D objects in a virtual environment. So I'm going to bring a lighthouse in. I'm going to click on the lighthouse. Let's see where he is. Where is the lighthouse? Oh, maybe I'll just get the haunted house instead. Click on the haunted house. So I'm using the trigger at the front. Oops, something went wrong. Here we go. There's the haunted house. Now I'm just holding that trigger and I'm moving the haunted house around. I can put it down, and then when I point to the edges of the object, I can stretch it out, push it back a little bit, and stretch it out. And then I can close that little menu. There we go. So that's another activity I want you to do, is find the 3D viewer, bring a 3D object into your environment and place it. So if you can't find the 3D viewer, we're going to open up the start menu again. Now I know that you've practiced this part already, but this time we're going to have a look at the start menu and just understand it. Down the bottom is a camera. So if you want to record some of what's happening around you, you can take photographs and videos with that camera. If you want to see your physical environment, and taking the headset off, which is too much hard work, this torch lets you see your physical environment. It lets you see through these two cameras that are on the front of the headset. So you can come in here and then you can see your physical environment, and then press the start button, click on the camera, sorry, the torch icon, to turn it off again. All right. The other thing here is this icon called Places. When you click on Places, you are presented with two distinct locations. Of course, right now you are in the Cliff House. For those of you who want to travel to a different location, I'll let you explore the Skyloft by yourself. But that's another way to practice your VR skills. Something else that you'll find useful is the All Apps icon and the scrolling up and down. So if you click on All Apps, you can see everything that's installed. And there is the 3D Viewer app, which I've got pinned up on the wall over there. The other thing that is really interesting is if you get the Edge browser. So this is the Microsoft Edge browser. Let's open one of those up. I'm going to pick it up and just put it over on that wall. Let's go and put it up on that wall, just to keep the house a little bit tidy. All right, so now you can see there I've got some shortcuts. I've got a shortcut called Paris, right there, and a shortcut called Uluru. So there is a service called 360 Cities, and teachers, I really want to encourage you to explore this, because let's say I want to travel to Paris from inside the Cliff House. I can do that because I've pinned a shortcut on Microsoft Edge, and I can now go to Paris. In fact, there is something that I want to show you. So in Paris, there is this place called the Catacombs. It's got a very interesting history, and we're going to go there right now. I'm going to click on the Catacombs, then I'm going to click on the VR icon up the top, and then I'm going to click on Enter VR. Are you ready? Here we go. I'm going to let you do your own research about the Catacombs. But this place, and I have been here in real life, and yes, these are actual skulls and these are actual bones. No doubt you can do some research as to what this place is all about. All right, let's get out of here. I'm getting out by pressing the Windows button on the controller, and I can see the browser again. I can wake the browser up and close that window. And if I want to go and visit a different part of Paris, I can do that. Well, those are some of the activities that I want you to practice inside the Microsoft Cliff House. Remember, using this software, the Mixed Reality Portal. Once all the students have practiced some of those skills and they're feeling a bit more confident and a bit more comfortable inside VR, then by all means, teachers, you can create your Steam account, make sure the VPN is up and running, and begin to explore some of those other VR apps that the Learning Library talks about.